Right. So basically, we started with classical understanding of discourses on women, ranging from views about women by Plato, Descartes, Aristotle, and then we tried defining the concept feminism. We said feminism as a concept is approached by a variety of scholars, but definition that is sort of people have consensus upon is that it's a male, when women try to combat male inflicted oppression, it's called feminism. So male, when women try to combat male inflicted oppression, it's called feminism. Then moving on towards historical development of feminism, um, there are quite a few phases. So late 18th century is considered to be the proper sort of emergence of the concept feminism, when the idea started to prevail in academy as well. So Vindication of the Rights of Women, 1799. It's a book by Mary Wollstonecraft. I do refer to this book in that longer version of the video as well. So moving onwards, then there were different waves of feminism. So waves of feminism are basically the phases of feminism. But one should be very clear that by starting of the next wave, it does not mean the first or the previous waves are over. So there is this very overlap. So after going through these waves of feminism, we move towards the idea of post-feminism. So post-feminism is a phase in the development of the concept feminism that says women have achieved what they wanted to achieve. So this phase is probably historically, if you try to trace the starting of or the emergence of post-feminism, so you would say late 1990s, late 1990s, or by the end or by the emergence of 20th 21st century. So the current the existing time or the prevailing era is considered to be the post-feminist era. So in this post-feminism, there are quite a few facets of feminism. Feminism is not a monolith anymore. People belonging to different ethnicities, different cultures, religions, economic backgrounds are now asserting, or at least, if not asserting, they are trying to contribute their versions of feminism into development of this very idea. Some people criticize post-feminism by saying that if you have so many facets of feminism, it will dilute the unity of agenda of feminism. So this diversity is diluting the agenda or the cause of feminism, both on academic front and activist front. So, but we believe, just like any other post movement, post means not over. पोस्ट का मतलब ये नहीं है कि कोई चीज खत्म हो गई. पोस्ट का मतलब कि अब उसका नया फेज आ गया. So post movements in philosophy usually or in social sciences are anti-essentialist. Anti-essentialist means where there is no fixed understanding of the concept. So the concept does not remain monolith anymore. So post-feminism is where uh, different versions of feminism are incorporated in determining the agenda of feminism. So that is the simplest understanding of post-feminism. But prevalent trends in post-feminism are the ones that we see around us are, for example, body and sexuality is sort of something that is very much emphasized in post-feminism. So it's so the debates like is it okay to make money out of or the legitimacy of prostitution or selling your body and objectification of body or consumerist attitudes towards body. So these sort of debates are quite in, and then and again, it's not a West-centric discourse. Post-feminism is now being taken up by even Muslim women, and they are recontextualizing the debate in their own context. So I'll show you some of the works, especially post-feminist works by Muslim women. So when we talk about post-feminism in literary context, we call it, or the literature that sort of follows such trajectory, we call it chick literature. Chick literature. So it's an established genre now. Chick literature is an established genre in which women are taking up very bold subjects. Uh, um, they are not sometime again, they might be criticized because these topics are taboo topics. However, they are courageous, and they are very smart in their treatment of these topics. Some women also, even, they face criticism within the circles of their own communities by other women as well, means by saying that these are not the sort of topics that we want to talk about. So they are being, they have to face the criticism. However, this is how new domains emerge. This is how new knowledge surfaces, that you have someone has to talk about these things, and then eventually the ideas develop and they mature, and people start, associating themselves with these notions. So the concept that I propagated and tried establishing in my PhD work was Islamic post-feminism. I'll share the link with you guys of some of the papers that I've written on Islamic post-feminism, and you can read more on what the idea is. So just a quick sort of one-liner understanding of Islamic post-feminism is that it's the agenda of Islamic post-feminism is to showcase that Muslim women are not um, victims of, uh, I won't say patriarchy, rather I would say Muslim women are not downtrodden all the times. They do enjoy their body and sexuality as well, and they take pride in their bodily freedom and pleasures. So to say that it's they're always oppressed and marginalized, and they have to face violence. This is not the only face or aspect of their life that needs to be given some space. Rather, there are other aspects as well, and they need to be talked about and celebrated as well. So some of the works that I focused upon from Muslim women's fiction, um, so they highlight such issues. So two works were Pakistani and two works were from Arab world. We can have some little, small little debate on them if we get some time by the end of the session as well. So that was some of the ideas that we discussed in the last class. So hopefully now you guys will be um, at a page where we can discuss these works. ठीक है? कोई क्वेश्चंस हैं यहाँ तक अभी? कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं है?